Fought back from a 4-run deficit last night, tying the score in the 7th, setting the stage for Bryce in the 10th. Harper to right. That's a game winner up against the wall, and the Nats win it 6-5. It was looking rough for a bunch of innings last night. The Nats made the big comeback. Bryce able to cap it off, so wheel on into the ballpark today. It's going to be a fun afternoon, 4 o'clock start, and the Nats will try to punch out the Reds again and win a series on this Saturday. Bob and FP, and I think in all of sports, as far as regular season goes, the walk-off hit in baseball, to me, is the most exciting thing out there.
Yeah, it takes a special player to do it. Bryce has done it 8 times already in his career. There's guys that play 10 years in the major leagues that maybe do it once or twice if they're lucky. But we talk about Bryce Harper in these situations. He just loves the situation itself. He'd rather be up in that situation and fail than not be up with the game on the line at all. So last night he came through, no shock. He sits safely at 14 of 15. 3 walk-off hits this year. The only guy to do that in the big leagues besides Bryce is Mark Trumbo. And you look at the 7th inning on, the clutch stats, the gamer stats, the guys that want to be up there with the game on the line.
Yeah, and the fact that the Nats are 20 games over 500 when Bryce Harper drives in a run. He is one of the things that stirs this pot around here with some other great hitters around him. And suddenly, the guy in the number 2 hole has become one of those. Brian Goodwin, kind of out of nowhere for a lot of us, has been establishing himself as a big league hitter.
A guy that's kind of realizing his power potential right in front of our eyes. A guy that didn't hit a lot of home runs, but is realizing you don't have to swing very hard to hit homers. 2 last night, walked a couple of times. We'll see what he does again here today.
Nothing like enamoring yourself to the home folks as well. Last 5 home games, 8 for 14, a double, bunch of home runs, a bunch of RBIs. Suddenly a potent force in the number 2 hole for this hard-hitting Nationals ball club. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. 1.7 miles south of the capital. It's a hot but beautiful baseball day. The Nats and the Reds getting ready for game 2 here. Bryce, the heroics from last night. What does he have in store for us today? About to the bullpen first and foremost. It's 88. Thankfully, that humidity has really gone way down since last night. Here's the Reds lineup, 6th in batting average and runs in the league, 4th in homers, and Joey Votto slugging, getting on base, you name it, he does it against the Nats and just about everybody else. He's been on base 22 games in a row, on base percentage of .418. Other than Tucker Barnhart catching today, pretty much the same lineup, and Cincinnati faces Joe Ross for the second time.
Well, there's the arsenal. You see the fastball 92, 2-seam variety, a lot of sink to it. Slider 85, changeup just 6% of the time at 85. 10th start of the year for Joe. First 4 starts of the year received 62 runs of support. That's the most in Major League Baseball history through a pitcher's first 4 starts of a season.
So underway at 4:06 with a called strike, and then Billy Hamilton fouls off another. Nats kept this speedster off the bases. He was 0 for 5 last night. 1 for 3 career against Joe, who threw 5 1/3 against the Reds July 16th of last year here. Did not get a decision. Crew chief has the plate today, and that's Paul Emo, the 19-year veteran. Brian Honora, 19 years. He's at first. Quinn Wolcott, Ramon De Jesus around the bags today. Michael A. Taylor in center field, played a little bit to the left for Hamilton. And he's going to be called out on strikes. And Billy Hamilton is 0 for his last 19.
Yeah, a little run back fastball, Tanner Roark style. Starts it on the inner half, runs it back. Looked like it had more plate than PitchCast showed at the very end. Maybe it showed where it crossed the plate versus where it got caught. But either way, strike 3, and that's how this one starts.
Next up is Scooter Gennett. Hitting at .288, hit his 10th homer here last night, RBI number 38. Slider to get ahead. Joe's 10th start of the year. 3-3, 5.98 the ERA. Gennett 3 for 6 against him with an RBI. Weeder sets up away, fastball up. Reds start the day losing 3 in a row, 12 of the last 13, and they're struggling big time. A season high 12 games under 500. Braves won their 3rd in a row last night. The Nats still lead them by 9 in the East. And Gennett right by the umpire. The Reds have a base runner with 1 out, with Votto and Duvall the next 2 hitters.
Set your defense today, tonight, whatever it is behind Joe Ross. Goodwin, Taylor, Harper, the outfield. Turner, Rendon, left side. Murphy, Zimmerman, right side. Matt Wieters behind the plate. Michael A. back in center field today.
That is a welcome sight.
Scooter Gennett is officially the captain of the Nats killer team now. I've dubbed him the captain.
Votto the other way. That ball's carrying though, and Goodwin comes to get it. Comes up firing on target, but Gennett stayed home, and Brian Goodwin continues to play great on both sides of the baseball. 2 outs.
Yeah, not an easy play for Brian Goodwin. A low line drive right at you. What do? Do you come in? Is it right at me? Got to read it. You see him make the correction where he stuck his left foot in the turf and kind of planted right there and came toward home plate on the run right off the grass. What a play. Pretty good throw too.
He has 3 outfield assists. So here's Adam Duvall, the power hitting right-hander. He's on a 6-game hitting streak.
So that's one of those plays where as a left fielder, you break to your left thinking I got to cut that ball off in the gap. You realize it wasn't hit that well, maybe as well as you thought it was, and you make the correction. That was a really good play.
Duvall 2 for 3 career against Russ. First game of the day in the National League to get underway. And Jeanette. Short leads here off of first. Zimmerman holds him. Outside with the fastball.
So Scooter has 1 stolen base this year and 10 home runs. And the way I see it, it should be the other way around.
His name should be Slammer.
Yeah, if your first name's Scooter, it should be 10 stolen bases and 1 home run.
Yeah. I know you're having a hard time dealing with this. We'll help you through the weekend, okay? But you're right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Trey's first name could be Scooter. That makes sense.
Phil Rizzuto's nickname was Scooter. He was a little guy who hit line drives and ran. Scott Fletcher, who was a solid player in the American League back in the 80s, his nickname was Scooter. He was a line drive hitter and a good defender. And this guy's suddenly turning into a power hitter. Three and one. Outfield absolutely straight away. And Joe drops the slider in there. 3-2. So Scooter will be off and running here as Ryan Zimmerman lets Joe Ross know that he's backing up behind the runner. Payoff pitch up and in. 2 on, 2 out. Joe's 12th walk of the year against 48 strikeouts in just over 50 innings.
So he's had that name since he was 5. It's a pretty good story too. He's giving his mom trouble about wearing a seatbelt in her car, so she took him to the police station to scare him in an attempt to avoid trouble with the cops. He told the cops his first name was Scooter because that was his favorite Muppet baby, and the name just stuck since the time he was 5 years old. Little did his mom know that he would hit 4 home runs in a major league game and totally ruin his first name. I love his name. That's great.
Vince Scully is so proud of you right now. That is some digging. Nicely done. 0-1 to Eugenio Suarez.
Swing and a miss.
Fastball in. And it just went tailing inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Suarez hit by a pitch, a walk last night, 0 for 3. Now 1 strike away from being out of this first inning. Sun blazing on a 1-2 pitch. Right to Billy Hatcher.
Let's play Billy.
Well, he was an epitome of a scrappy ball player, wasn't he?
He had one of the greatest World Series offensively ever.
Yeah. One and 2. Still with 2 outs. 19th pitch coming from Joe Ross. And reaching, and there's a pop up to center. Here comes Taylor. He is there. So Joe Ross, couple of base runners, and a couple of good running plays by his outfield, putting a 0 on the board. The Nats coming around bottom of the first, leading the league in batting average, home runs, and runs. Anthony Rendon right in the middle of everything, and his .397 on base percentage in the top 10 in the National League. So he's hitting, he's driving in runs, homers, and getting on base prolifically. And something's got to give today, right? Homer Bailey against the best home run hitting team in the league. Yeah. First start of this year.
Season debut, 91 pitches last time out in a rehab start. Yeah, February 18th this year, had arthroscopic surgery to remove bone spurs from his right elbow. 3-0 in 3 rehab starts with a 1.08 ERA. He had 17 strikeouts, 3 walks in those starts. So fastball 89, slider, curveball change to go with it.
He only pitched 23 innings in 6 starts toward the end of last year after Tommy John surgery in May of 2015. Trey Turner facing him for the first time. And he's going to drill one to right. Playing over that way, Scott Schebler. Trey Turner, similar to the base hit that got the game-winning rally going in the 10th inning last night.
Yeah, got the right field stroke going. That means he's keeping his front side closed, staying on top of the baseball, waiting until the last minute. Look how deep he lets that ball get. So pretty swing from Trey Turner. There goes the no-hitter.
All right, here we go. He's second in the league, 28 out of 33. Had a bag last night. He's holding on a pitch way outside to Brian Goodwin. Goodwin, a monster night last night. 2 homers, a single, 2 walks, on base 5 times. Wow. Tucker Barnhart reaching for one. Strike called by Paul Emmel. Seems like Brian Goodwin, if something good happens his first time up in a ball game, he starts bunching things together before the game's over. He's had some monster games so far.
That's why that first at bat's so important. You check in with a knock early, or maybe even a walk, and you score a run, then you relax. You're not pressing to have a knock for the day. You already got one under your belt. You've done something good to help your ball club, and you feel like, you know, a 1-for-1 is going to be a 2-for, a 3-for, maybe even a 4-for. That's how Pete Rose thought. When Pete Rose was 2-for-2, he was thinking 4-for-4. A lot of guys, including myself, when you had a couple of hits your first time up, kind of, I already had a good day. I had 2 hits already.
I think Murph's like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of good hitters are like that.
3-1. Asking for trouble if he walks this guy, but asking for trouble if he throws one down the middle as well. Turner stretching out that lead some. He's holding. Ball 4, no need to steal. And the table is set early for Bryce Harper.
So last night, second base was open, and the only run that mattered was Trey Turner on third. Brian Price chose to pitch to Bryce Harper with the right on left matchup. So you had Mr. Walkoff on deck, current Mr. Walkoff in the batter's box, and the Reds were just in a pickle. I think either way they had a tough choice, but Bryce made him pay. And look at Max going in there, giving him the business.
Max Scherzer looks like Max Schmeling with some of those jabs. Breaking ball in the dirt to Bryce.
If you really didn't like a teammate, you can get some shots in there.
Well,
just a sucker punch and then go back to the dugout.
A couple of shots, but no more strangling these days. That's good. Bryce 1 for 6 career against Homer Bailey. Steps in 5th in the league with 56 runs batted in.
That was a nice swing.
Wow.
So this was last year, a little flashback against the Cubs. Remember this? Kind of reminiscent last night. At least I was thinking this last night when that happened. So this is Bryce running from his teammates. Look at Tanner. I'm going to catch him. Juke move.
Sorry, Tanner. He's a better athlete. You're really good, but he's a little better. 1-1. That'll be out of play. They all turn into a bunch of kids when the dog pile's about to happen. Can't wait to see Jason Worth. We're getting so many messages about when's Jason coming back. We don't really know. He's only had the boot off his foot for a couple of days, and Dusty said yesterday he's probably growing gills because he's spending so much time in the pool doing non-impact stuff. 1-2 to Harper. Target away, and Bryce will pull it foul. So Homer Bailey really hasn't thrown a pitch by anybody yet.
Reds defense today: Duvall, Hamilton, Schebler, Peraza, Suarez, Jeanette Votto, and Tucker Barnhart behind the plate.
Second fewest errors in the league. Early pressure here by the Nats. They want it up. And they got it up there, unreachable for Harper for the first down. Right where Tucker Barnhart put his mitt.
So an elevated fastball up and out of the zone. See Bryce chase high very often.
Not at all. Bryce 60th strikeout, but he's walked 45 times. So here's Ryan Zimmerman. Ryan 1 for 5 with a walk against Bailey. Homer Bailey against the Nats career 1-3 in 4 starts, 3.86. All 3 losses with a 5.40 ERA attached in this ballpark. And everybody in that infield knows, don't ignore Trey Turner. He and Goodwin, the capability for a double steal if somebody's napping. Leading the league, just ahead of his teammate Buster Posey at 342. High in the air and going out of play. So 4 hitters in baseball over 340, those 3. Avisail Garcia, the White Sox. He's at 341. Target in. Way inside. 2-1.
Yeah, I'm watching Trey Turner like a hawk at second. He's trying to get a jump. Scooter Gennett's doing a nice job of holding him tight. And Homer Bailey's getting it to the plate quick enough. Brian Goodwin looking at Trey Turner, trying to get a jump with him if he goes.
Zimmerman pops it up left side, twisting out of play. And that throw into the runner, but Gennett got enough of it to keep it close, and Billy Hamilton was charging in as well from center.
What's a nice play by Scooter Gennett to keep that thing close. Bailey throws this way to the left field side. This will give you a good look at where the throw went, and he had to go across Trey Turner just to knock it down. If that ball gets by him, it doesn't matter where Billy Hamilton is. With Trey Turner's speed, he'll be on third. So nice play by Gennett on a bad throw.
2-2. Been a while since the Nats have had a big first inning. 3-2. They had a 2-run first inning on the road trip. Some 1-run frames lately. So here we go, 3-2. Two really speedy guys on base.
Crank it up.
And your number one slugger in there. 4th in the league in RBIs. There they go. Zimmerman to the gap in right center. Goodwin's already beyond second base. He'll score after Turner. And Ryan Zimmerman now has 59 RBIs. 2-0 Washington.
That was exciting. Yeah, guys running all over the place. 3-2 count, 1 out. Turner got a good jump. Goodwin got a good jump. And then Ryan barrels one up in the gap to make it 2-0.
Such a great right center field hitter.
A little clap at second base. I mean, that was fun to watch. You had guys moving on the pitch. Talk about an exciting play in baseball. That was it. 2 guys stealing, ball in the gap. The guy from first scores, 2-0.
Ryan started the game .394 at home, and that puts him up to .400. And now Daniel Murphy looking to put a big crooked number on the board. Murph keeps on hacking. .402 his last 22 games. Guy behind him hitting .333 over the last month. That was Ryan Zimmerman's 21st double, and he ties Murphy for the 3rd most in the league. And for Ryan Zimmerman, his 40th extra base hit. 3rd most.
It's just become such a stationary baseball game with walks and homers and strikeouts. It was really refreshing to see guys moving on a pitch and the ball put in play.
Absolutely love it. 1-1. Murphy speared by Joey Votto. That ball labeled for the right field corner. 2 outs.
Well, nice play by Joey Votto. Good swing by Murph, of course, and great base running by Ryan Zimmerman not to get doubled up. So I don't know how Murph got to this pitch. I mean, it's so far inside, he just pulls his hands in. Joey Votto jumps, and look at Ryan Zimmerman going back on a line drive. I say it all the time, Ryan doesn't get enough credit for his base running skills. He's one of the best base runners in baseball, in my opinion.
Great play by a Gold Glover over there. With 2 outs, it's Anthony Rendon. This is his situation. .367 this year with runners in scoring position. On the inside edge, good pitch at 94 by Homer Bailey. 60 and 54 career, 175th game start. Career ERA though 4.24. There's that amazing pull back of the bat by Rendon. Ball 2.
Ryan Zimmerman's one of the best base runners in baseball, and Anthony Rendon's definitely the best check swinger. You say that tongue-in-cheek, but it's true. I don't know I've ever seen anybody hold up like he can at the last second.
Yeah. Those guys take emergency hacks. Hits the emergency brake switch and it doesn't go any farther.
Just because his swing is so under control.
Now another long count for Homer Bailey, who's about to throw his 27th pitch of the inning. What a blast last night.
What was it, 454? Over the red seats, through the woods into grandmother's house. That's where Wilson Ramos used to hit a lot of his.
We're told Wilson activated today by the Rays. Ta-da!
Stampede in Tampa.
And ironically, Derek Norris got designated for assignment when that happened. 3-2 to Rendon. Up the middle. Ball's got some pace on it. Dropped by Jeanette. He can't recover. Zimmerman rounded third and goes back to the bag. And the Nats inning is still alive. Eford the immediate call. Scooter Jeanette's second error of the year.
I asked some of the Reds people today if Homer Bailey was on a pitch count. They said no, he threw 91 pitches his last rehab assignment. He's on a normal pitch count today, but after 28 and counting here in the first inning, as you see Jeanette throw at the first base. Who knows how long he's going to go in this one?
Yeah, they got a beleaguered pitching staff. Mac Jenkins, their pitching coach. The Reds' ERA is the second worst in baseball at 5.08 to the hard to believe 5.20 the Orioles are throwing out there right now. So by a long shot behind the Mets, worst in our league. And Matt Wieters will be the 7th national to bat in the first inning. A lineup that's hard enough to stop when they get 3 outs, and here's an extra one. Jeanette well into right field. Peraza up the middle. He's been seeing a lot of off-speed stuff in the dirt lately. .238 from the left side, 249 overall with 27 batted in. Tapper right side. Jeanette on a ball that hit right by the edge of the grass, and he gets Wieters. Nats have a nice first inning. Ryan Zimmerman hitting .400 at home now. His batting average is over .350. And with this base hit, 59 runs batted in. Fun to see that speed. Turner followed by Goodwin, and the Nats 2-0 after 1.
Here at the ballpark, 2-0 Nats as we go to the top of the second inning. Just a reminder, as you enjoy Cola, look forward to Miller time later in the ball game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite.
The man was not about to disappoint his own alumni base, was he?
Yeah, that was pretty clutch.
Hoops, baseball, you name it. We're glad they're here. Top of the second, Joe Ross. Joe run support Ross will face Schebler, Peraza, and Barnhart. 19 pitches, good ratio, 13 strikes in the first inning.
Has he pitched a game without the lead this year?
I don't know.
And how in the world did Anthony Rendon make an out? Doesn't he usually have huge games behind Joe Ross?
So after strike one, Rendon will retreat to shortstop on the shift. Schebler's going to roll over that thing and pull it to Murphy. Nice ground ball out. First out on the ground for Joe.
Well, Anthony didn't make it out. He reached out an error.
Yeah.
To send the Nats to the 2017 All-Star Game, vote 20 times and select the Nationals as your favorite club. Receive 50% off select game tickets. That is bribery, and I love it. For all the details, visit nationals.com/vote. So vote 20 times, select the Nats as your favorite club, and get 50% off game tickets. Vote for Zim. Bryce told you to last night.
First pitch, Jose Peraza, base hit. 1 for 5 last night. He got robbed on 3 different plays of hits. So he's off to a good start this afternoon. That gets it down to Drew Storen's old high school teammate Tucker Barnhart. Brownsburg, Indiana High School. Drew Storen, Tucker Barnhart, and Lance Lynn. So as a freshman and a sophomore, Tucker caught Drew's junior and senior seasons. And he's up there hacking. Starting his 43rd game behind the plate tonight. Most by any Reds catcher. And they carry 3 on their roster. Devin Mesoraco had a big night here last night. Stuart Turner the other. Mesoraco 2 hits and a walk. On base 5 times. Ground ball double play guy. If you can get in on the ground, 7 of those this year. He's going to lift one out of play to the left. Double play lately has been the friend of the Nats pitching staff. 5th in the league with 74. The guys have turned. Tried to swing that heater back. Pretty good 0-2 pitch. Ryan Price with Homer Bailey, who's a 156 career hitter.
So I'm being told in Joe Ross's 10 starts this year, this is his 10th.
Yep.
34 runs total in the first 2 innings. That includes the 2 today. So yeah, he's pitched with a lead, I'd say, more times than not.
Two with 1 out. Target in. And the ball fouled right into the camera well.
Ugly finder. Dan's got it.
And Coco picked it up.
Yep. That's the first time it's worked all year.
We see you glaring up here. There's Nissan on the pitch cast. So the last 3 pitches, trying to jam him into a ground ball here. And Wieters continues to sit on that side of the plate. Today's game on MASN brought to you by FH Fur. Absolutely the best.
Drew's got friends today. Look at that.
Yeah. Got a batter out last night. Became quite popular in the Reds bullpen.
Good arms.
For 4 pitches last night.
Good arms out of that bullpen last night.
Their bullpen's number-wise the 4th best in the league. That's foul.
Matt's bullpen did a nice job last night too.
And how? 5 scoreless innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, a Blake Trinan double play. And the pen was fantastic last night, giving the Nats a chance to make the comeback. You made the point early, this ball club's within 4 runs or 5 runs. With time left, they can do it.
I just don't know how Steven Strasburg threw a strike last night with all the sweat he had on his hand and his arm. Those Exmo shots we had of him throwing the changeup and the water just exploding off his hand and arm, and the ball actually being wet as it left his hand because he was sweating so much last night. I mean, it was sticky, humid, hot, gross, whatever.
Quite a spray chart here on this at bat. Joe working slowly here. Time given to the batter.
Got a nice crowd here today. Look at this. The place is full.
Yeah, still a lot of folks at the center field gate checking in. Nats are averaging 31,411, 6th best out of 15 National League clubs. Well, he hits one fair. Heck of an at bat by Tucker Barnhart. Heading for third is Peraza. Bryce Harper will just bounce it into Trey Turner, and the Reds with the pitcher coming up have first and third, 1 out.
Well, that's a heck of an at bat by Tucker Barnhart. I mean, he's battling, fighting, fouling off tough pitches. He finally gets the slider, stays through it, uses the hole created by Jose Peraza. So first and third, and Homer Bailey has a chance to help himself out. If I remember right, he can hit a little bit.
Yeah. 41 career sacrifice bunts, as I mentioned earlier. 156 career batter.
He's way up in the box. He's bunting right here. Look where he's standing.
His front foot's almost out of the box. So Rendon coming down the line with the runner. The bunt is dropped for Joe Ross, who makes the play. Peraza stays at third. He gets a sacrifice, moving Barnhart to second. It'll go 1-4.
Joe actually had the out at second if he wanted it, because as a runner you have to freeze until that ball hits the ground. Whenever a guy pops up a bunt, you can always kind of take a peek at the lead runner. It's kind of dicey, right? Because the bunter is running to first while the ball's in the air. But watch Tucker Barnhart. He can't go anywhere. He's frozen. As soon as that ball hits, look at second base right now. And Trey Turner with his arms in the air. Joe Ross will take the out at first and then try to retire Billy Hamilton.
Hamilton called out on strikes first time. Tying run, second base, 2 outs. So the Reds have 3 hits and a walk. First time through the order. They go 3 for 7 with a walk and a sacrifice. Hamilton slaps one the other way. 1 ball, 1 strike. And this one right at Trey Turner. Couple of zeros on the board for Joe Ross. He'll hit after Michael A. Taylor. 2-0 Nats.
donut, a bat sleeve. It's pine tar right there, the red thing. Rosin, tough spray, a weighted bat, and then another weighted bat. It's a Motus stick right there in the dirt, just in case you're wondering about all the stuff in the on-deck circle. All the stuff will be at the ballpark on June 30th. Budweiser Music Party featuring Bachelorette contestant. He didn't win. Country music artist Luke Pell. Get a concert ticket to beer for just 20 bucks, or for 25 more, you can meet Luke. He's a hunk. Visit nationals.com/budmusic for details.
Of course he is.
Kill myself sometimes.
He was on that show. He's got to be.
Yeah.
Swing and a foul. Michael A. Taylor, welcome back to the lineup. Been out for several days. 11 for 33 with 8 runs in his previous 9 games. Batting average sitting at .260. And he takes one away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Look at that stroke to right field. We've seen more of that lately from Michael as well. It's a beautiful thing. So both leadoff guys today, Turner and Taylor, with singles to right.
I mean, you're watching, you're in the middle of, you always say enjoy the ride. You're in the middle of watching Michael A. Taylor establish himself as an everyday major leaguer. He really, I mean, when he starts taking pitches like this off the plate away and driving them to right, you know, he's been a little pull conscious at times because he wants to hit the ball 900 feet because he can hit the ball 900 feet. But when you see him taking singles like that, the way he's played center field, the stolen bases.
Good bunt by Joe Ross. For a moment, I thought Tucker Barnhart might pick that thing up and fire to second, but it appeared he let it bounce one more time. Joe doesn't sacrifice a lot because he's a good hitter. That's his 3rd of the year and only the 5th of his career.
I think he reached for it, missed it, and like you said, it hit the ground again. He had to go to first. He had a shot at second.
Homer Bailey 3 for 9 first pitch strikes, first time around the order. And here's Trey Turner, who served that beautiful base hit to right field first time up. I just saw Joey Votto move about 35 feet off the first base line. First thing he did was look up and check the sun, which is coming in from third base. And don't sleep on Taylor at second if you're the Reds. No need to. Bob Henley's going to send him on a hard ball to Schebler. No throw. 3-0. And how about Turner and Taylor wearing out right field so far?
Good baseball. Get him on, get him over, get him in to make it 3-0. So the right field approach working big time for the Nats here today. First Michael A. Taylor, now Trey Turner for the 2nd time. This one an RBI, and it moves Schebler a little bit towards center field, and that was an easy send for Bob Henley. Once you see the outfielder moving away from home plate, you're already up 2, make it 3.
The burners haven't been turned off for this inning yet. So Trey's on for the 2nd time. He stayed there in the 1st inning while Homer Bailey was walking Brian Goodwin. Is this the big game we've been waiting for from Trey? He's had some 1-hit, 2-hit games lately. Today's 2 for 2, and it's very early.
Well, he had a 4 stolen base game lately.
Yeah.
That's a big game.
I'm talking about hitting and swinging it, and I love the approach. But with that kind of speed, get on base any way they let you. Change up outside, 2-0. I don't know, man. Maybe last night made them reluctant to challenge Brian Goodwin here.
StatCast powered by AWS. 12-foot lead. Did I really need to say that? I mean, it's the biggest number in broadcasting history, and I just said it.
It's all right.
For those of you that don't have your contacts in, that was a 12-foot lead. Look at 11, 12, totally unnecessary.
Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Jeep, and what Brian Goodwin is doing to make Nats fans adore him in this ballpark. Frontline players get hurt, you find out about other guys. Michael A. Taylor, we have found out everything we hoped for about him this year, and this guy's next in line. Payoff pitch, Turner running, a swing and a foul. Ball gets away into the photo bay, and Trey Turner will go to second base.
That's a thank you very much. Free 90 feet. Didn't look like that bad a throw from Homer Bailey. Did Joey Votto just lose that? It hit Trey Turner right in the back. Look at that. Wear it on the bases. That didn't feel good at all.
So E1 with one out. Another runner in scoring position, and Goodwin takes the walk. Brian Goodwin in this series is now on base 7 times in 8 plate appearances.
I walked twice last night, walked twice here today. Already.
Next up, Bryce Harper. He probably won't let Homer Bailey take him up and out of the strike zone to whiff this time. So a run's home, 1 out, 2 aboard. And the Nats poised to grab an early stranglehold on this game. Don't groove it. Off speed. Target was inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Show him the fastball in to get back to that nasty changeup. He threw him for strike 1. You'd think. Got the vote Zimbat working. And there's the changeup again.
Homer Bailey is at 46 pitches with 4 outs under his belt. And on one of them, Joe Ross was trying to make an out to move a runner. So a long couple of innings for him here. Harper on another off-speed pitch. Bailey rings him up for the 2nd time. There's only 2 strikeouts. Mercedes-Benz will cast it.
So in the first inning, Trey Turner singled, Brian Goodwin walked, Bryce Harper struck out, Ryan Zimmerman doubled. Second inning, Trey Turner singled, Brian Goodwin walked, Bryce Harper struck out, ...
And that was exciting. The runners were moving on a full count. Zimmerman plugged the gap out at the scoreboard.
So you've taken the fastball away out of the equation if you're Ryan, based on your first at bat. So now as a hitter, you think, okay, I'm either sitting soft or looking in.
And that first fastball did miss in.
Or if you're just in the zone like Ryan is, you just see ball, hit ball, keep it simple.
88 hits on the year now. 40 extra base hits. Strike call and things are even 1-1. Inside the Numbers brought to you by Jeep. So the Nats leader, look at that, 3 guys over 50, at 50 or over. Anthony Rendon next in line. Trey Turner, a great total for a guy who leads off. Murphy hit the ball extremely hard first time. Joey Votto robbed him of a double. Target away on 2-1. And he missed to the other side of the plate.
Doesn't matter what PitchCast says, if you reach that far and drop the ball, you're not getting a call.
Oh my gosh, are they throwing overhand on 3-1 to him? Bases loaded for Daniel Murphy. Well, Ryan Zimmerman, the trust he has for the guy hitting behind him, not going fishing or reaching, taking the walk. Daniel Murphy, by the way, in the entire National League, and the phone's ringing in the left field bullpen, is second to Paul Goldschmidt with runners in scoring position at a robust .417 now.
Low laser beam last night for home run number 13. Watch the finish. I love the way he points the bat and runs down to first on the recoil. The helicopter finish is good too when he goes the other way, but the pull side jousting down the first baseline is my favorite.
Homer Bailey relying on off-speed stuff and keeping it down here. They told us he went as high as 100 pitches during one of his rehab starts. Well, he's more than halfway there right here. Great speed in front of one of the smartest base runners in baseball. Good block, Tucker Barnhart. So Daniel Murphy, there's his RBI total career, got his 100th homer last night. On a drive to right, leading off the 6th inning. That looked like it was shot out of a cannon about 10 or 12 feet off the ground all the way out there. They were scrambling in the bullpen to get out of the way. Backs off, 2-1.
I mean, who knows what's going to happen this at bat, but don't you feel like it's going to be hit hard somewhere? I mean,
you get the sense.
just every time this guy gets in the box, you just feel like he's going to hit something real hard.
Like that, but foul. Look out.
He's fearless on the inside pitch, too. I mean, I've never seen a guy hover out over the plate like this. They bury it in there. Look at this, is right where he wants it. Just a little leak back to the plate, and Murphy all over it. And there's the finish I'm talking about.
Out on the front foot, trying to guide it.
I love that finish.
It's like a magic wand trying to keep the ball fair. 2-2 now. He started. They appeal. No swing. And here we go. Bases loaded, 2 outs and a full count.
You watch the swing. I watch the usher with stuff on his head.
Three nothing Nats already. Target in. Murphy stays alive.
Strike. He's asking strike. Might have been up. You can't take that one though. Red's pen getting loose.
Luis Alberto Bonilla.
Everywhere.
Three-two pitch again. Murphy off the facing of his own dugout. And Davey Lopes, after getting hit last night, didn't want any part of that one.
I just want to see the finish again. I asked for this. This is because of me.
Statuesque. Murphy, right field corner. That's at least 2. Turner scores. Goodwin scores. Here comes Zimmerman. 6-0. Washington.
I mean, who's shocked? Is anybody shocked?
Daniel Murphy with 53 batted in now.
I mean, Homer Bailey's out there working his tail off to retire one of the best hitters in the National League. And Daniel Murphy just fouling good pitch off after good pitch off to get to that fastball, which had tons of plate. And he just knew when he stepped in the box, whether it was going to be a hit or not, that he was going to hit the ball hard. And there it is. Double down the corner. Everybody scores. 6-0. Daniel hits Murphy, ladies and gentlemen. Standing ovation from the crowd here at Nats Park. He is so good. So good.
94th hit. 22nd double. 37th extra base hit. Eight pitches. Homer Bailey maybe gets one more hitter because Rendon's right-handed. Wieters on deck. 8th Nat to bat in this inning. 7 batted in the first, and that's going to make it 7-0. Rendon and Murphy will trade places. And for Rendon, 47 RBIs.
I got a question for you, Carp. Who's pitching for the Nats today?
Some kid named Ross.
7-0, Joe Ross.
And some guy named Bailey is done.
And Anthony Rendon with another hit on a Joe Ross start, another RBI.
Six hits, 7 runs to this point. We invite you to choose a winning team for your vehicle. Jiffy Lube for value and convenience. JiffyLubeDC.com. It's our, guess what? Jiffy Lube pitching change. Oakland gave him a breather, and the Nats lead by 7 in the second inning. 27-year-old Luis Alberto Bonilla will take over for the Reds here. He's made 4 starts. This will be his 8th appearance. 28 hits in 29 innings. 20 Ks, but 16 walks.
A fastball curve change, fastball 92. Curveball upper 70s, changeup mid 80s.
Matt Wieters greets him. Nobody on the Nats has ever faced this right-hander. Wieters, the 9th national to bat in the inning. Hit a ground ball out to Scooter Gennett in right field to end the first.
You know, when they have those jerseys with nicknames on the back, Joe Ross could put run support on the back of his jersey.
Off speed, and the count's even. 1-1.
I've heard some of them through the grapevine that I have to keep quiet until that day, but there's some funny ones coming. There's Bob's jersey. See you later. That's easy.
Well, Homer did keep it in the yard today, and that's a base hit by Wieters. Here comes Rendon. Schebler's got a strong arm. Late throw to second, and they've got Matt Wieters. But it's 8-0 through the first 2 innings. And Daniel Murphy, watch this swing. As we mentioned, hit number 94, double number 22, extra base hit number 37, and 53 batted in.
Ross is getting a ton of run support. Joe Ross, we've talked about it, the Nationals wanted him to subtract some velocity from his changeup to create more of a velocity gap between his fastball and that changeup. And so recently, Joe made a bit of an adjustment to his changeup grip after talking with Max Scherzer, moving his thumb up on the ball, and he's seen positive benefits from that in a couple ways. The velocity's come down a little, and he's seeing more movement on the pitch, and he told me that with these results, he now wants to throw the changeup. He has a lot more confidence in it than it maybe has in the past. And guys, some evidence of that, he threw double-digit changeups in each of his last 2 starts. Prior to those 2 starts, that's something that he hadn't done yet this year. So feeling more confident with that changeup. It's moving more, it's slower. The Nationals like what he's done with that pitch.
Dan with our Coons.com. Sideline report, over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Top of the 3rd, here's Scooter Gennett. Strike call. Best thing Joe Ross could do now, start going after guys and keep doing what he's been doing. He's given up 3 hits and a walk, but stranded 4 runners so far. Gennett, Cincinnati's first hit back in the first inning, right up the middle. 0-2. Right at him with a pitch down and in. It was the Nationals' 4th highest scoring inning of the year. 6 runs on 5 hits.
So in his 10 starts now, the total goes up to 40 runs in the first 2 innings total.
And a ball driven to center. Taylor tearing back to the wall. He's got it. Brilliant play straight back over his head for the first out, 3rd inning.
I'm telling you, when you're getting hits, you're making plays, your whole game is relaxed and confident. Watch Michael A. Taylor take a peek back at the wall. He feels the dirt under his cleats and then jumps right at the right time so that he doesn't crash into the fence. Full stride. I think Sun might have been involved in that too. Nice play.
There's a drive to right, and Murphy has it off the bat of Joey Votto. Next up, Adam Duvall. Joe Ross walked him first time with 2 outs in the first. Shadows creeping now. So with a start with the first pitch at 4:06 on a June afternoon, great time to have a big lead. It's always a good time for that, but it's going to get tougher to hit. And that ball hit to left, hooking.
Tell you what, if you're Joe Ross, just stick with the game plan. Try to trick yourself into thinking it's a close game, because you can't just lay the ball in there because you're up 8-0 or be 8-4 in a hurry. So sometimes pitchers will tell you it's harder to focus with a big lead than it is in a 1-0 game. Got to really bear down mentally.
2-2 pitch.
Ball's even carrying off the backstop this year.
On the corner to strike him out. Maybe Joe's best heater of the day. Michael A. Taylor led off last inning, and you know what happened? Well, here he comes again.
Time 8-0 Nats, bottom of third. Scooter Gennett putting a charge in one again. I'll tell you, he hit a ball to left last night, and this ball, they'd both be home runs in Cincinnati. But Michael A. Taylor, check out the route efficiency, 98.7%. He went a long ways, knew where he was, and jumped at the last second to make a really good play. Joe Ross is digging it, and so were we.
I think it indicates that even in hot temperatures, it's still pretty much a fair ballpark. Still have to give it a great ride to get it out. And I think that's all pitchers can hope for. I mean, you're right. Cincinnati, those are way out. Philadelphia, they're way out. Taylor, Ross, Turner. And a big hook there from Bonilla. Target away from Barnhart, and Michael A. stopped his swing.
When you get your hits to right field, to me it's like, you know, you hit the drive 250 right down the middle, but you still want to hit one 280, 290 every once in a while. So that's the temptation once you get that opposite field stroke down.
He's got it down. It's going to be a fly ball, easy for Schebler.
I mean, you like your hits, you'll take them, but every once in a while you want to let loose and try to pull something, and that's okay.
Yeah, because going that way, you're going to get those opportunities, right?
Right.
They got to find some place to pitch you. And they'll go in and out until they find it.
I mean, just the simple fly ball to right, putting the ball in play is something that's a win for Michael A. Taylor because it leads to consistency.
Joe Ross goes up hacking, hits it a mile high out to left. Adam Duvall, 2 outs.
Take your family out to the yard with Nationals Family Fun Packs. That's presented by Harris Teeter. Save up to 36% per person on a meal and game ticket. Available online for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday games. Home games at Nats Park. So go to nationals.com/family for 36.78% off. Got his glove. He's ready.
Curveball at the knees to Trey Turner, who has had quite the efficient afternoon.
Everybody having fun at the ballpark today. 8-0. Perfect day for baseball.
Good take, 2-1. And the bat sails back to the screen. That was kind of a knuckleball. It didn't rotate at all.
The bat?
Yeah. It was no helicopter action there. That was interesting. A little adhesive
spray
coming.
That's the spray. That was a sign for the spray. Been funny if he went under the pits with that real quick too. Just a quick squirt.
2-2. Turner 3 for 3. So there he goes. 2 to right, 1 to left, and he's on board again. Third inning, 3 for 3.
He's on pace to go 8 for 8 today.
There better not be a bottom of the ninth.
That's why I said 8 for 8. That's why I said 8 for 8. Yeah, you good call, Carp. Couple to right, then something slow. Your hands are in the right slot because you're hitting the ball the other way, and you pull one for a single. I don't think he's going anywhere up 8-0, even though it's just the third.
And evidently, the Reds circled Brian Goodwin's name yesterday and said, don't let this guy beat us. He's been walked 4 times in this series. 2 homers and a base hit last night. And obviously, that's in jest with a guy like Harper and then Zimmerman behind him. But they just haven't challenged Brian much. And when they did, boom, out it went. That was a good changeup. So a whole bunch of Nationals getting their first look at Lisaverto Bonilla. Ball 2. Now a 2-2 pitch. I mean, he's just not swinging at anything that's not a quality strike. So off to the races goes Turner.
See the Brian Goodwin Taters last night. This was 99, I believe, at least upper 90s. Touched it 417 feet away from home plate. Just a smooth swing, right? And then this one, left on left, might open some eyes in the Nats dugout as far as Brian playing against lefties. Even though Ryan Rayburn's been doing a bang-up job against lefties, so we'll see.
3-2, Turner running again, and a swing and a miss. Third inning comes to a close. The Nats 8 runs on 7 hits so far as we go to the middle innings. Of Nationals baseball is brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4 Toyota. What drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals.
There's Goose, there's Maverick.
Within the shadow of the ballpark, beach volleyball, the Anacostia becoming the next great recreational area in the nation. Well done.
Until you jump in the water, then you're in trouble.
And it's our troop recognition here at the ballpark, honoring our great soldiers, their families, our servicemen and women. And it's all brought to you by DynCorp International. We serve today for a better tomorrow. Captain of third base agrees. Here's Eugenio Suarez. Joe Ross, 47 pitches, 35 strikes, right back to work. for the second inning since given that big lead. He comes out and fires strike one to the leadoff guy. That is a quality slider from one side of the plate to the other. Nissan will cast it.
Yeah, that had more of cutter action to it, really. That slider had a little more depth. It might have been a changeup, actually. You know, to Dan's report about Joe Ross's changeup, an 8-run lead's a perfect time to fiddle with it, maybe get a feel for it.
Jammed him. Ground ball to Turner. First out. Fourth inning. And when you have insight, you know how to handle your finances with confidence, and you know that Victor Robles has another update. It's all brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever in you, we keep tracking this 20-year-old center fielder who's one of the brightest prospects in the organization. And against Carolina last night, everything but a single for the cycle, and he's at 400 over the last week and a half. Victor Robles.
He's ready. Call him up.
Here's Scott Schebler. Another first pitch strike. Joe can't get it. Rendon can. Well done. 2 outs. That's what happens behind you when you've thrown 13 out of 15 first pitch strikes.
I think Anthony's laughing that Joe missed it. They're having a little chuckle around the mound right now. He's like, I got you. I'll back you up. Remember in Little League, you used to say, good backup? Way to back him up. Boys are having fun with 8-0. And Anthony knows that Joe's a good fielder and a great athlete. He's giving him a little grief for missing that. I like it.
Here's Jose Peraza. First pitch swing, first base hit. Back in the second. That chopper got his foot. Big lead. Dusty would love nothing better than Ross to get deep into this game. Have the bullpen fresh for tomorrow. Tanner Roark and Scott Feldman tomorrow. Then the Cubs are here for 4. Two.
I want to say the Nats went to Wrigley last year and caught the Cubs when they were white hot, when they could do no wrong, when the tricklers were hitting bases and every call was going their way. They were just insanely on fire.
I agree. They were swept, but every game was competitive, right?
Right, but I felt like when the Cubs came back here to Nats Park, it was a different story, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it was early in the season. Cubs were getting out of the gate and could do no wrong. And then when the Cubs came to Nats Park later in the year, I feel like Dusty's bunch had a better time against them, just off the top of my head.
Yeah, 7 of 8 the Cubs had won going into that series at Wrigley, and the Nats were coming off a sweep at St. Louis and 2 out of 3 at Kansas City.
Yeah, those were all good games at Wrigley.
Well,
except for Bryce walked 4,000 times in that series.
And Ryan Zimmerman struggling and stranding all those runners. That's not happening this year. 3-2 Ross to Peraza. Jose Peraza keeping Joe from a quick inning here. Pitch number 9 is foul. Swing and a miss on a high heater. Long battle. The pitcher wins it. Joe Ross 3 Ks today. Harper, Zimmerman, Murphy ahead in the 4th.
The Reds, Bryce Harper with his 3rd walk-off hit of the season last night, his 8th walk-off hit already in his young career. And I asked Dusty Baker, in his experience, the players who have a lot of success in those game-winning type of situations, what qualities they possess. Dusty said, number 1, they want to be in those situations. Number 2, they usually make contact in those spots and they hit to the situation that they're in. Dusty also saying you need to have high concentration levels in those spots. Your heart may be pounding, but your mind has to be calm. You say you dreamed of those situations thousands of times throughout your childhood, mentally putting yourself in that spot. Those are the situations you live for. And Bryce saying after the game last night, those are the moments that matter most. I want to be up in those moments.
And how well he did. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Thanks, Dan, with our Coons.com sideline report. Ball 1. Bottom of the 4th underway.
Dusty also saying the Nats have to play better in day games.
Yeah, losing record this year, right?
13-18 during the day, so far so good in this one. 31-11 at night, 13-18 during the day.
Shift on. And a ball served the other way, out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jeep has more numbers for us. That's all, folks. Most walk-off hits at the start of the 2012 season. Only Josh Donaldson more, and we picked out 2012 because that was Bryce's rookie year. Matt Wieters, Mr. Clutch, including one against the Orioles with the Nats this year. They want this pitch way upstairs. It's outside. 2-2.
The concentration part Dusty's talking about is you just stick to your game plan and try to hit the ball hard. You can't be thinking if I get a hit we win, because it takes you totally out of what you need to do to be successful. It's almost like a young closer saying, if I make this pitch, it's a save. No, just stick with your game plan, your process. And that's where the focus comes in, because that's easy to say for me. But when 40,000 people are cheering, the game's on the line, and if you get a hit, the game's over. That's not easy to do.
Swing and a miss on a curveball in the dirt. Bryce down for the third time today. Nats road ahead, driven by your local Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyFirst.com. As mentioned, tomorrow, Game 3 against the Reds. Tanner Roark 6-4. Scott Feldman 5-5. WUSA 9 joins us for some primetime baseball Monday night. Cubbies are coming. 3-night games and a 4 o'clock getaway on Thursday before the Nats make a short 3-game road trip to St. Louis. And by the way, just so you know, when we are at Busch Stadium next weekend, we are only televising the Friday night game because Fox took the Saturday game and ESPN made the Nats and the Cards the Sunday night game. 0-1 to Ryan Zimmerman, who's had a good day. 2-run double and a walk. 0-2, and Bonilla impressing here. Gave up a hit to Matt Wieters, who was thrown out at second and has only given up a Trey Turner single since. He's trying to save the Cincinnati bullpen for the rest of the weekend, and Ryan Zimmerman's going to make it easily to first base on a strikeout.
I mean, I guess you're having that kind of year. You even strike out and get to first base. Tucker Barnhart's upset he didn't block this ball. You could hear him with the frustration. But yeah, that ball went almost into the Reds dugout. Easy advance for Ryan Zimmerman, and the line moves to a guy that's about to hit the ball hard somewhere.
Strikeout and a wild pitch. Murphy's hit it hard twice, pulling it.
It's shocking when you see Daniel Murphy play every day to see teams try to go in on him, and we've seen it for a year plus now, where I guess the book on him is pound him in, but he does so much damage in there.
Yeah.
To me, I'd pitch him away and let him take his singles to left, because the damage comes to the pull side. Teams try to go in there, they miss by an inch, and he shoots you down the corner in the stands.
Well, there they go again. Inside out swing for the foul ball. 0-2. His share of hits to left, but as FP points out, those 46 to right, I bet at least 2/3 of them have RBIs attached.
Yeah, that's where the damage comes. He'll be trying to go to left with 2 strikes here, but if you make a mistake in there, he'll still get to it.
Pulls it. Votto can't get it. The second baseman does, and Scooter Gennett throws out Murphy. Second out of the inning, and Ryan Zimmerman to second base.
You just can't get in there on him. You can't get inside on Daniel Murphy. Every once in a while, if he's tired, you know, he's played a week or 10 days in a row and it's a day game, maybe you'll see him get jammed. But I mean, I've seen 97, 98, 99 in there, and he still gets to it.
Rendon 1 for 2. RBI double that finished Homer Bailey, who got 5 outs throwing 61 pitches, 6 hits, 8 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Rendon taking all the way on 2-0.
What do we got? Vote today, vote tomorrow, vote Nationals for your 2017 All-Stars with Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot. Ball game is July 11th, live on Fox. It's the 88th Major League All-Star Game.
2-2. And maybe as much young slugging talent as has ever been on display in that game. Aaron Judge hit another one today, his 26th. Rendon takes one outside, 3-2. Two on, two out for Matt Wieters. Anthony Rendon has walked 43 times this year and struck out 40 times.
In today's game, that's a unicorn.
Yep. Wieters' RBI hit to right last time up. So Matt's driven in 28. Anthony Rendon 2 for 3 today, getting on base. So his on base percentage is at an even 400 now. We are just about a game and a half into the series, and the Cincinnati Reds pitching staff has walked 13 Nationals. Ball 2.
You know, as an analyst, I feel like it's necessary for me to say that's not good.
I was teeing you up for that one.
Yeah.
Wow. And their ERA is going to go up today from 5.08, worst in the National League. Wieters rifles another one to right. Here comes Zimmerman. Schebler's throw goes to third. Everybody's safe. That ball gets away. It hits a camera, and Rendon will score. And Wieters will end up all the way at third. The Nats lead 10-0.
So single RBI run scores on the air, double-digit lead for the Nats, and the line is moving once again. I mean, it's the fourth inning, folks. It's 10-0. And good for Matt Wieters. He's having a nice day. Couple of hits. Some runs batted in, and that wasn't that bad a throw. Schebler's going to get the error, but Eugenio Suarez has either got to back up and catch that or run and catch that in the air. But the way he did it wasn't the right way.
The usual solid Cincinnati defense, 3 errors today. Here's Michael A. Taylor, and he jacks one to center. See you later. 12-0. Eighth time this year the Nats have had 12 runs or more in a ball game. Joe Ross the next hitter. So Taylor one short of double digits on the home run side, and Joe goes up hacking.
So that's what I'm talking about. You get your singles to right, you take out the driver, and you try to roast one right down the middle of the fairway. It's exactly what he just did. I saw something I really liked right there. Bryce Harper struck out 3 times today. He was one of the first guys to greet Michael A. Taylor.
Well done, Bryce. Ross jacks one down the line, slicing.
You know, even though your team's having success, if you're having a rough day, it's hard to get up off the bench and be enthusiastic for others. That showed me a lot about Bryce Harper. I knew it already, but that's cool. He's having a rough one, and he first one to give him a high five.
Crowd still buzzing.
Yeah,
But Michael A. shot to the batter's eye.
That might have blown StatCast apart. That was on the putting green. He gets a free game for that.
I like his chances of being in there tomorrow. Swing and a miss. Big inning for the Nationals. 4 more runs, and don't forget, Zimmerman struck out, went to first, ended up scoring the first run of the inning. The Nats, it's not a dirty dozen. It looks pretty nice up there.
Fifth inning. Let's check out Michael A. Taylor's homer again. Give me some StatCast. First, the pitch location. Fastball belt high. We talked about the swing to right field. Now, hey, let it loose. Why not? You already got one hit under your belt, and watch how far this goes. 439 feet, 105 miles an hour, basically. And it's on the putting green for a free game, and this gentleman came down to get it between innings. And watch the little leprechaun under there take the ball away from him. That's my ball. So you get a free game of miniature golf, don't you? In the 18th hole when you do that?
Well, he doesn't need a driver.
That was a hole-in-one.
Top of the 5th, Joe Ross against Tucker Barnhart. This Alberto Bonilla, the pitcher, is on deck. And Joe misses away 2-0. Here he is. He's thrown 48 pitches, 31 strikes, pitched 2 1/3 here in relief of Homer Bailey.
Joe Ross's first start of the year, the Nets won 14-4. His second start at Colorado, they won 15-12. His third start, they won 23-5. Fourth start, 10-1. A couple of starts ago against the Braves, they won 10-5, and now they're up 12-0 here. He has 1 million runs of support in all of his starts, I think. I think that comes out to 1 million.
So maybe he should throw the first inning every day and then let anybody else take over.
No,
the guys will probably get a couple.
His arm would fall off, but it's a good thought.
3-1.
Except for that part.
That ball drilled to left. Good win. Can't get it. Scoots by him. And Tucker Barnhart is 2 for 2. Remember that great at bat he had. 9 pitches for the base hit back in the second. Bonilla, as I mentioned, had started a couple of games this year. He's 1 for 4 with the bat. He's a switch hitting pitcher, according to the stat sheet, but he's batting right-handed against Joe Ross. Trying to make it 12-2.
Just choking up, trying to put it in play right there. That might be the hardest I've seen a pitcher swing all year.
Trying to make it 12-2.
Trying to make it 12-12. Watch these swings. Hey, don't get cheated.
Trying to make it 12-2. 1 out.
Washington area Toyota dealers help children and their families by making a $37 donation to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by an Nats pitcher this season.
Joe Ross is retired. 9 of the last 10 Reds hitters. Top of the order, Billy Hamilton. Foul tip, strike 1. Just pitch count 64 starting this inning. He's thrown 10 here. And a little up with the slider. 2 balls, 1 strike. Up the middle. And that breaks up an 0 for 20 for Billy Hamilton. Barnhart stops at third. Runners at the corners, 1 out. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save. Watch Abe close it out here. He's always been the best closer among the 4. That's his 12th win of the year. Thomas Jefferson 11. George has 10. Teddy, never mind.
Did you see the people leaning over the rail that were trying to get a picture and they almost just got worked by the presidents?
Didn't see that.
They ducked out of the way at the last second.
Scooter Jeanette's hit the ball well twice, base it up the middle. Then he pinned Taylor up against the center field wall 2 innings ago. Ross missing away. Troublesome hitter for Joe. Jeanette 4 for 8 career. Change up 2-0. That's in a modified shift. Rendon stays home about 20 feet from the third base bag. Turner up the middle, Murphy to pull, but everybody on the infield. Two-0 pitch. And Jeanette's bat goes into the screen above the Nationals dugout.
You know, I was reading this article today before the ball game about the baseballs this year, and you know they've done tests on them, and Major League has done tests. They still haven't said the results of those tests, but there's been some other organizations that have taken the balls from 15, 16, and this year, and they're talking about within the specifications of the ball, right? The height of the seams and how tightly it's wound and the size of the core within the specifications of Major League can vary so much that a ball can travel 40 feet difference with the specified ball.
Chance for two. Turner from Murphy. Well, maybe that lively ball got to Daniel a little quicker for the 4-6-3. Nats are out of the inning. Joe Ross another 0 on the board. Screech likes it, and the Nationals double play number 75. It's all Nationals here at home halfway through the ball game. 12-0. Out hitting the Reds 10-5. Mazda with their do-up and what they've done in this series. So Trey Turner 5 hits, 3 of them in a row today. Bryant Goodwin, a couple of jacks last night. On base twice a day with walks. And Bryce Harper, of course, the big hit to win it last evening. New first baseman for the Reds, Patrick Kivlahan.
Use that in a sentence.
Now playing first base, Patrick Kivlahan.
Country of origin, please.
Another hit for Trey Turner. Well, there's the prolific day we've been waiting for since the amazing evening he had at Colorado and some other ball games where he had stolen a lot of bases.
4 for 4 in the 5th inning. How many hits is Trey Turner going to get today? I mean, that's really the only question remaining in this game, right?
5th career 4-hit game here.
That's incredible. Don't just sleep on that fact that he's just played over a full season. And it's 5th career 4-hit game. That's really impressive. It's his 163rd career game today, and he's got 5 4-hit games.
Goodwin 0 for 1, 2 walks. And a ball that had Tucker Barnhart scrambling, 1-1.
Do you know how hard it is to get 4 hits in a major league game, and he's done it 5 times? I mean, that's a bigger deal than you would think, is my point.
And I think probably last time around in the order when it was 8-0, and now certainly 12-0, we're in the no stolen base zone.
Oh, you steal now. Someone's getting drilled.
Oh, yeah. Good win, well out ahead of that breaking pitch.
Yeah, so only 3 guys in the majors last year had more than 5 4-hit games. Altuve, Cabrera, and Nunez.
Swing and a miss. Goodwin couldn't get down to get it. First out here, 5th inning. Bryce Harper is next. 5th strikeout for Luis Alberto Bonilla.
Bryce could be a little tired today. I wonder if this is his last at-bat.
Because of the call-up of Wilmer Defoe, the Nats do have an extra bench guy than they did on the road trip, and Harper rings one into right field. That had a loud sound to it. 2 on. 1 out, and Bryce checks in with his first base hit today.
This is baseball gods. Top step, give somebody a high five after a home run. You're having a tough day, you get a knock. Nicely done.
Zimmerman 2-run double, a walk and a run, a strikeout, reach first on a wild pitch. Strike call. Kind of an odd configuration now. There's sunlight in the batter's box, pitcher in the shadows, batter's eye in the sun. 6:08 local time. And up the middle, deflected by the pitcher. Zimmerman's going to get a hit. Things are rolling his way. Bases loaded, 1 out. That's probably a double play ball if it gets by Bonilla.
I think Ryan just said that's a knock. Absolutely, that's a knock, Ryan Zimmerman. And when you're having a year like you're having, this is what happens. So looks like a double play. Innings over. No, it's another hit for Ryan Zimmerman. Bryce Harper getting up over that baseball.
Here's Daniel Murphy, who already has 3 RBIs. Tucker Barnhart to visit his pitcher. So Homer Bailey gave up 8. This reliever Bonilla has given up 4 more.
Those are nice. I think those are Jokelys. Yeah, where have those been, Jose? I like it. Jose, can you see?
Strike call on the inside edge to Murphy. Ariel Hernandez. Way inside, ball gets away and the runners stay. Runners all day. And Murphy golfs one out to left. Adam Duvall has 5 outfield assists, but there's a burner on third base and safe at home. 13-0. Daniel Murphy, a 4 RBI day.
Well, you see the speed of Trey Turner and you're wondering, is this a good play up 12-0? Well, you have to play the game. You can't stop playing. And if Daniel Murphy has 99 RBIs this year and Trey Turner doesn't go there, it's a good slide away from the tag. Look at him hook the plate with his foot. I've never seen that before. It's a tricky slide by Trey Turner.
Yeah, cool.
But I don't think that's running anything up or rubbing it in anybody's face. That was a sac fly, or maybe Dusty Baker's saying, hey, I think, and I've talked to Bob Henley about this extensively, that these are tough sends for a third base coach when you're up by a lot. You don't want to wake anybody up. You don't want to show anybody up, but a sac fly is a sac fly, and you can't stop playing the game the way it's supposed to be played just because you're up.
Rendon with a base hit. Harper around third. He'll stop. Line moving. Bases loaded again. Anthony Rendon 2 for 3 today.
And you see Bob Henley right there stopping Bryce Harper. But I think when it's an at-bat or a non-at-bat in a sac fly or an RBI for a guy that has a potential chance to win an RBI title, you have to send him.
5th inning, Nationals 13 runs on 14 hits. Matt Wieters is 2 for 3, and he's driven in 3 today. Ground ball to the right side, and from the turf, Scooter Gennett throws him out. Nationals add another run. After 5, Joe Ross and the Nats with a huge lead. Longest game in the history of the Nationals, and Ryan Zimmerman deep. Top of the 16th at Milwaukee. A 2-run shot drove in Adam LaRoche, who had singled. Zimmerman would make a great play in left field and then catch the final out of the game in left. And the Nats would beat the Brewers 4-2 in 16 in 5 hours and 23 minutes. 3 years ago today, brought to you by VW, and that would be the Nats' longest game until they lost in 18 innings here to the Pirates July 17th of last year.
There was some hooting and hollering going on in that dugout.
Winning pitcher, Tyler Clippard. The save, Soriano. And the Brewers got mad and won 9-2 to the next day. So we're going to the top of the 6th inning. Patrick Kivalahan about to hit for Joey Votto, who appears in that box score 0 for 2. Kivalahan, 27-year-old outfielder combo from Nyack, New York. Reds picked him up on waivers from San Diego last December, and he hits a high fly ball that might go if it's fair, and that is a home run right down the line. Patrick Kivalahan, his 5th of the year.
Nice job. You sit around, you get in a ball game, and then Trey Turner makes a catch, a bare hand catch, and I think he got a high five from Ross Detweiler.
13-1. And they're going up Hacken, and Duvall hits one deep to right center. Taylor just stops running, walked into the catch for the first down.
Yep, Ross Detweiler. He's here. Gave him a high five.
Never former #1 pick.
Not a baby Ross. Nice play, Trey. Little love from Ross. Yep, that was me. I caught it. Bare hand, no glove. Yeah, you see me on the highlights. Ross looks different.
There's Eugenio Suarez. First pitch taken of the inning. Suarez, fly ball to center, ground ball to Turner. That ball ripped and hooking foul.
Pitch number 87 coming from Joe Ross.
Longest outing of the year. 8 innings against the Mariners. May 23rd, 10-1 win. Went 7 at Atlanta, first time out. 7 1/3 against the Orioles in the makeup game. Two-two pitch. Wow. 129 pitches in 5 innings by the Reds. Three and 2. Jammed him. Ball coming back to Bryce Harper, but Taylor, the center fielder, will take command and make the catch. 2 down.
Nats welcome the Chicago Cubs to Nats Park for a 4-game set. June 26th through the 29th. Don't miss out on your chance to see a potential postseason preview. Visit nationals.com/tickets to get your tickets today. And Joe Madden will pitch to Bryce Harper this year. You can bet on it. Even though Joe Madden doesn't pitch.
That's the shortstop over there on the shift, and Joe Ross gives up the solo, then has a quick 6th inning. Michael A. Taylor, been leading off all day. Why not again? Taylor in the middle of everything.
See you later. I mean, ever since they put that sign up in the apartment building, balls have been flying out of Nats Park. So Carp getting some love across the street. Michael A. Taylor having a fantastic season. The beat goes on.
Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers donate $250 for the first 200 homers hit by the Nats this year, and that money goes to the Children's National Health System. Lexus, experience amazing, and we thank them for their community generosity.
They've always been a huge fan of Lexus. Jumped at the opportunity to partner with Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers. Love my car, the performance, the design, and the amazing customer experience. What's not to love?
There's Ariel Hernandez taking over for the Reds here. Fourth appearance since his call-up. Hasn't given up a thing, but he has struck out 6 in 4 2/3. And a ball ripped to right center. See you later. Michael A. Taylor, 3 for 4, second of the day, his 10th. 14-1.
I'm telling you, he's showing everybody that he's an everyday major leaguer, and not just hitting pull side home runs, straightaway center, and this one the other way. Michael A. Taylor stay hot. Bell tie gets on top, and he hit another one. So 2 home runs today for Michael A. plus Taylor.
Joe Ross up there hacking, strike 1.
There's a certain broadcaster this year for another ball club that called him Michael 4A Taylor. He's eating his words right now, big time.
Yeah, he's big league all the way. No balls, 2 strikes. Ross today a sacrifice, fly ball to left, swinging strikeout. Right fielder Arizmendi Alcantara on a double switch. He'll be batting 9th and hitting 3rd in the top of the 7th.
Just a bit outside. Good take. Show me some stat cast on Michael A.'s second Taylor. 102.5, 28 degrees of double-digit home runs for Michael A. Taylor this year. 412 feet.
The other way. Swing and a miss, and Joe Ross gone. That's just fine. Go get a breather, Joe. We have further plans for you this afternoon. Where do you start on the box score? How about the setup guys? Turner and Goodwin on base 6 times. Rice checks in with the base hit last time. Then Zim and Murphy, Rendon, Wieters, all the way down to the number 8 spot, Michael A. Taylor. It's amazing. It's prolific. It's the best offense in baseball right now.
I mean, has there ever been a pitcher through 10 starts of a season that has had this much run support? I mean, it has to be a record. Has to be. 70 runs total, I'm being told, in 10 starts. For Joe Ross, I mean, it has to be a record.
Look out. That was a curveball that didn't do much except spin Trey out of there. Three and one. Trey Turner's 5th plate appearance, and we're in the bottom of the 6th.
100.
Trey just staying alive.
Staying alive on 100. You know, I was talking about the balls. There's certain people that think they're wound tighter and the seams are lower, and if the seams are lower, it travels further. But I think the bats are made better now with the different woods, and pitchers are all throwing 100, and guys are trying to hit fly balls. So all those things are conducive to homers.
Trey Turner, base on balls with 1 out in the 6th, and he's on for the 5th time.
But there's a lot of people that say the seams are lower, the core might be bigger. This is all just theory. But I think the bats are different, and guys are throwing harder, and that has a lot to do with the homers being up too. And guys are trying to hit fly balls. This is the air ball revolution, right? Guys are trying to hit the ball in the air. They're all swinging for homers. So add all those things together, and that's why you're seeing what you see.
Well, our first answer to who's going to get off their feet this afternoon in a game like this comes in a moment. Ryan Rayburn for Bryce Harper. Ever since we saw his brother the other night, I got Brian Harper on my mind. 2-0. So Bryce did check in with the base hit his last time up. That ball hit well out to left, and it backs up Duvall, who makes the catch. Back to first base. Trey Turner, 2 outs. Inside the Numbers, brought to you by PNC. All right, now keep this in mind. This is coming into today's game. So the batting average for the Nats is going to go up a couple of points, which is hard to do at this time of the season. The on-base percentage, slugging, extra base hits, went over 400 runs last night, and the home runs. Wow.
It's weird. We said this in spring training, and all of baseball was talking about how stacked the Nats lineup was, and it's just cool to see it at the end of June kind of play out statistically. What we thought had a really good chance of happening.
Ryan Rayburn's been great as well. Had some hits in Miami. He's 11 for 33 with that homer he hit in the getaway game on Wednesday. One, two. Swing and a miss, and the 6th inning is over. The Nats get a run as Michael A. Taylor goes very deep, opposite field leading off. 412 the other way. Michael A. having a big day. Welcome back to the lineup, sir. of days. Comes back today, shows us how valuable he is. I mean, look at that line score. The multi-run innings are crazy. Taylor 3 for 4, a couple of home runs. What new can we find to say about this offense?
I don't know. Look at the scorecard. It's just filled with ink today everywhere. I mean, these guys have the best offensive in baseball. Then you're seeing it here on display. We see it on a nightly basis. 3, 4, 5 doing their thing again today. Trey Turner on base. I mean, when everybody's clicking, this is what you do. But you have to do this against teams you're supposed to do it against. You know, you can't mess around. That's why last night's win was so big for these guys to start off the series and the homestand in the right direction. And you come out today and just absolutely lay wood to somebody.
Top of the 7th inning, Jose Peraza, the leadoff guy. Joe Ross in the mid-90s on his pitch count, poised to go 7 today. And that ball hit out to right. Brian Goodwin just came over from left field. He battles the sun. The ball finds him, and he makes the play. Not an easy play this time of the day. So Ryan Rayburn, after hitting for Harper, stays into play left field. Goodwin moves to right. And there's Adam Lind. Lind straight up for Zimmerman in the number 4 spot. Here's the only Reds catcher we haven't seen yet, Stuart Turner. Turner, 25-year-old Cincinnati Rule 5 guy from the roster of the Twins last December. He was an All-American at Ole Miss in the SEC in his college days. Drafted originally by the Twins, 3rd round 4 years ago. So their 3rd catcher here, Stuart Turner. Sounded like he broke his bat. Trey Turner is going to come in and catch the Turner fly ball. 2 outs. Joe Ross keeps on rolling. Here's Dan.
Bob, you guys talking about this win last night over this Reds club, starting off the homestand on a positive note. Dusty saying yesterday, with this long stretch where the Nationals are in town so much, the only series that they have on the road until the All-Star break is at St. Louis over these 17 days. He said it's time for us to establish home superiority. He loves the way that his club has played on the road this season, but he says it's time for us to start dominating at home, something that they haven't yet done to this point.
Nats at home 19-14. On the road 25-15. So a chance for home win number 20 today. Arizmendi Alcantara came in on the double switch to play right field last inning.
So Ross doing a nice job plugging along with a big lead, staying ahead of hitters, working at a decent tempo today, much faster than he has his previous few starts. So that's telling me he's getting more confidence in his stuff and maybe the score.
Swing and a miss. Joe Ross, a 1-2-3, top of the 7th. Time to stretch. It's all Nats today. Cardinals 15-6 on the hit side. And check out the Peanuts at Fitzner Stadium at 105. They'll close out the homestand tomorrow. 105 Kids Day. Take home a Peanuts logo baseball. First 1,000 fans 12 and under. Adam Lind first at bat today. Faces Ariel Hernandez, who threw 21 pitches, 12 strikes last inning. Gave up the Taylor homer. 98 in there, and staying in the catch will be Stuart Turner. That ball roasted, way foul. How high is it going? Way up to the top of the mezzanine.
There's people up there going, did you hear something, honey? Those people saw it. You know why? They're looking right into the sun.
Yeah.
They're sitting down there. Nobody moved for that ball. It went right over a guy's head sitting there, and they turned around. They heard a noise.
That one about 2 feet outside the bag.
Yeah, they're looking right back in the sun. Right over here about.
One and two to Lind. Two-two pitch, and look out on that side.
Getting his rips in, as usual.
And Lynn rips another one. Suarez playing over there on the shift.
All right, check this out. I've been going through my Twitter. I wanted to show you the very first Twitter poll as we're at game number 74. Biggest storyline entering the 2017 season. Who closes won that poll? 1,400 of you voted on it. But Bryce is back to his MVP form. Trey, we get to see for 162. He's doing his thing. And the bounce back for Zim. So check the first 3 boxes, and that's where you find yourself 9-10 games up in the standings, depending on what happens in Atlanta today.
Cool.
And I think, you know, there's still a question about the first one.
So our first dip into the poll archives.
Yeah, a little reflection today is, you know, we're kind of getting into the season. And it's 14-1. And those weren't my ideas.
2-0. The booth had an original idea last week, and it died of loneliness.
I did not think of those answers that our producer nailed, Chip Winfield.
Daniel Murphy, 1 for 3 today, 4 runs batted in. He's at 54 on the year. Target in. And to center for Billy Hamilton. Two outs for Anthony Rendon.
All right, I'm in 100%. Can he see? Did he cut out holes?
He's got to be able
to see. Able to see, right?
Jose Lobaton,
he has
coolest guy in the team.
Beautiful eyes. Those are just gorgeous.
Yeah. Use a little eyelash on the bottom part, though.
A little too much eyeliner. for my liking.
He could be catching Tanner Roark tomorrow. We'll see how Dusty plays it. Nats about to win a series. Day game tomorrow, 1:30, the regular Sunday afternoon time. Roark and Scott Feldman, 2-0.
Tanner's saying, how do you do that thing where they score 1,000,000 runs every time you pitch? And Gio's like, yeah, maybe if I just stand next to you, I'll have 14 runs next time.
It's about the craziest thing ever, really.
It is. And it's got to be a record. Yeah. I don't know. I just pitch and we score tons of runs. Yeah, but how do you do it?
Joe Blanton for the 8th. .30 pitch. Is there a secret handshake or something maybe the rest of the staff doesn't know about?
I don't know. I think it's magic.
Well, Joe did his part. 7 innings, a run on 6 hits. Walked a guy in the first inning, then nobody thereafter. And Stephen Drew hitting for Rendon there will draw the walk with 2 outs. So he's aboard. Second walk issued by Hernandez. So several regulars getting the rest of the day off. There's Matt Wieters. A little tardy there for 98.
Jake Arrieta had 72 runs of support in his first 10 starts last year for the Cubs. That's 3rd most ever.
And Joe 70, huh?
Joe 70. He's tied for 5th most ever. Well, since 1974, if that's ever. It's close to ever.
And this one to left for Adam Duvall. This ball game is going into the top of the 8th. The Nats 6 outs away from a series win. It's 14-1. Cast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals.
Have you ever done that tandem kayaking and just smoked the person in front with the oar?
No, because it was my spouse, and
Well, I mean, not necessarily on purpose. It's just because, you know, you're getting into it.
not even taking a chance on getting close on that one. Top of the 8th, Joe Blanton, the 36-year-old right-hander, will take over, and Joe just trying to get some outings successfully put together here. 19th appearance for the Nats. The ERA over 9, 23 hits in 15 innings.
Yeah, fastball, slider, curveball, change. The fastball's averaging 90.5 miles an hour on the year.
Boomer Defoe at second for Daniel Murphy. Stephen Drew, after hitting, stays in to play third. Defoe will be hitting 9th. So the Nationals pitcher hitting in Murphy's spot, number 5. Joe could start himself on the road back by getting some of those first batters he faces. It's been a rough ride. And in this case, it's Billy Hamilton who broke an 0 for 20 with a base hit up the middle in the 5th inning. And then Joe Ross promptly threw a 4-6-3 double play ball to Scooter Gennett. And there's another first batter aboard against Joe. Billy Hamilton not only 0 for 20, but 8 for 60 before he got these 2 hits in a row.
You know, get to the unwritten rules. I understand when you're ahead 14-1 not to rub it in, but I never got when you were down 14-1 why I had to quit playing because you were kicking my butt. Why can't I steal because you're beating me so bad? And why does the other team get offended if I did steal? Because, you know, odds are you're not going to win the game. But why do I have to quit doing what I do best because you're beating my brains in? So in my mind, I think you should be able to steal when you're down by 13 runs. Not that, you know, the run means anything, but why should you change the way you play because you're losing? Isn't the object to try to keep playing to win? I mean, if not, then just take it to the bus and take it to the hotel right now. I don't know. And it happens, and say it's a 7-run game right now and the other team plays behind you and you're not supposed to steal. You're letting me have an extra 90 feet and the name of the game is to cross home plate. I never understood that, and I never will.
0-2 to Scooter Gennett.
Like Gerard Dyson buttoning Justin Verlander's perfect game the other night. If you're playing to win the game and bunting is part of your game, then why should I change my game because you have a perfect game? If I want to win, if the score is indicative, say it's 1-0 or 2-1, and I'm trying to get on base to score a run, and they ended up winning that game. I don't know. 14-1 game. Deep thoughts about unwritten rules in baseball.
Scooter Gennett 1 for 3. And a 2-2 pitch. He was reaching for that ball, hits it deep to right center. Taylor, scoreboard, can't get it. Goodwin backing up. Runners will end up at second and third. Scooter Gennett continues to hit the ball for distance. He appeared to be reaching for that pitch.
Now, pretty good effort. You just don't want to get hurt in a 14-1 game. That's a definitely unwritten rule. But you play one way, you play one way. You can't fault Michael A. Taylor for going up against the chain link out there in right center. And Brian Goodwin didn't even see that ball off the bat. He just stood there for about 2 seconds before he realized it was coming toward him.
Scooter Gennett 2 for 4 today. He was 2 for 5 last night with a home run. And there's the first baseman, Patrick Kivlahan, who homered hitting for Joey Votto after he came into play first, leading off the 6th.
Someone on Twitter is asking me, why should I stop stealing if I'm up 14-1? Because you don't want to embarrass anybody. You don't want to rub it in their face. And you definitely don't want to wake anybody up.
Yeah.
And give them a reason to come out and have extra incentive to beat you tomorrow. And plus the whole baseball gods thing. If you play the game the wrong way, that's like karma in life. It come back and get you. But when you're behind, I think you keep fighting. However you fight. If it's 0-0, you keep fighting. If it's 14-1.
2-1 pitch. Out of play. Blake Wood. That's a chopper over the mound. It'll get a run home. And Defoe, that's going to be a hit anyway. I don't think there's any way he throws out Kivlahan. So it's 14-2, and now runners at first and third.
Yeah, just a simple chopper up the middle. Looked like Joe Blanton thought about going for it, but wanted his second baseman to make the play. And like you said, I think he's safe either way.
There's Adam Duvall. 0 for 1 career against Blanton, who's given up 3 consecutive hits.
We talk about it. These are the games, even though the score is what it is, that you show your manager you deserve bigger innings. So anytime you take that mound in a big league game, you have a point to prove regardless of the score.
Popped him up left side. Trey Turner. That's the first out here in the 8th. Eugenio Suarez is next. Looking slider there for the swing and the miss. Suarez 1 for 3 career against Joe Blanton with an RBI. Nissan will cast this one.
It's a good curveball.
Devin Mesoraco, their last remaining bench player, on deck for the pitcher. And a ball hit out to center. Taylor. This will bring in another run. 14-3 on the sacrifice fly. Jeanette scores. Tanner Roark, 24-16 career here. 6-4. Battling through a tough stretch right now. 4.88 the ERA. And for the Reds, it'll be their right-hander, Scott Feldman, 34-year-old veteran. He's 76 and 82 career. He's 5-5 with a high ERA of 4.20. We'll get you going 1 o'clock. That's extra. Masson 2. Runner takes second. That's indifferent. with 2 outs here in the 8th.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm not offended.
I don't think Dusty is either. There's some managers that would be, though.
Two-0 pitches in there. Two with 2 outs. This one will be out of play to the right side. Long ball game with the way this thing's going. BCFP DK here at Nationals Park. First pitch was 4:06 and 17 runs, 24 hits later. Almost all of that by the home team. Here we are in the 8th inning. Mesoraco. It's by the mound. Turner to his left. Catcher running. It's going to be close. And he's out. Brian Onora with the call. We think the inning is over. The Reds probably about to have a look.
Nobody's running off the field for the Nats. Nobody. He's safe. Just look at the players. They'll tell you. I mean, he's safe. Everyone's just standing in their position. It's not even close. Look at that. Wow. That might be the most I've seen one missed all year. Or Brian Onora could have been just thinking, it's time to go home. Yeah, look at everyone's walking back to their position already. They just saw it on the big screen here. This should take 3 seconds. Yeah, there you go. Take him off.
So for the Reds, 4 hits in the inning. Runners at first and third, 2 outs for Jose Peraza. Check swing, ball 1. Going off at first, and we were not offended by that.
The more I think about it, that jump by Trey Turner is time on the ground for the runner. You know, if you're coming across and you go left, right, throw, and you're a shortstop, I think after watching him jump for a couple of months now, that takes longer when you're in the air. It's comfortable for him. We've talked about it before. But when you're hanging in the air and throwing, that's steps for the runner to get to first base. And I think it's quicker if you just do the traditional on the run, field off the left, throw off the right. But that jump throw might be a step and a half for me if I'm running down the line. It works going in the hole because it's a do or die play, but I think going to your left or coming in, it might actually take a little bit longer.
And this ball flared out to short right field. Wilmer Defoe is there. Reds pick up a couple of runs. Michael A. Taylor, 3 for 4, and around 850 feet of home runs.
Ball game. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Michael A. Tater. There's Tater number 1. That's his 9th of the year. Straightaway center in the clown's mouth for a free game of miniature golf. And then this one, his 10th Tater of the year, a Michael A. Tater to right center. So yeah, that's our Miller moments. His 2nd career 2-home run game, and he's never hit 3.
He said, setting the stage for the bottom of the 8th. Taylor, Defoe, and Turner. Blake Wood pitched in the ball game last night, came in the 8th inning. He walked Wieters, gave up a hit to Ryan Rayburn, then departed. 31-year-old right-hander in the big leagues off and on since 2010 with the Royals, Indians, and now the Reds. It's his 33rd appearance.
Yeah, look for some aggressive swings here. Why not? And to the unwritten rules again, since we're talking about it, I mean, you just take your swings, your aggressive swing. You don't want to like fall down, your helmet come off, swing up 14-3, but you know, you're trying to make personal history and hit 3 home runs in 1 game. Why not? You have to think that if you have 2 already.
Has a big rip.
You know, for the games when you face Clayton Kershaw, this is why you get greedy at the plate in games like today.
Way inside, 2-1. Wilmer Defoe, first at bat coming. Way outside. Now the count goes full here, bottom 8. Braves about to win again. 3-1 they lead in the 9th over Milwaukee. They're trying to win their 4th in a row and stay 9 back of the Nats. 3-2 pitch. Taylor rips it. Fair ball right by the bag. It deadens against the short corner down there. And Michael A. Taylor has a 4-hit game with 3 extra base hits.
That is definitely worth a standing ovation, and he's kind of getting one right now.
Ball was absolutely torched.
I'm telling you, when you're hitting the ball to right, your hands are in the right slot, you're able to pull the baseball and keep it fair.
So that ties a career high hits in a game. Double number 14. The extra base hits piling up all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah, the booth got awkwardly quiet after that.
Goodness. Wilmer Defoe. And that chopper will even the count 1-1. Wilmer at 191, a homer, 5 RBIs. Left-handed, hitting .203. And there's a guy with a 4-hit day, on base 5 times. Two and 1. How many Turners can you have in one game? So Jacob warming up for the ninth. And a 2-1 to Wilmer Difo. So Mercedes-Benz will pitch cast this one. Difo trying to drop one into center, and it's in front of the speedy Billy Hamilton. Michael A. Taylor had to eyeball that one. So he got to third, and here comes Trey Turner.
Check out Trey's day by the Bay. First time up base hit, second time up base hit the other way. That one scored Michael A. Then pull side base hit, so 3 for 3. Make it 4 for 4. He's been on base 5 times. He walked his last time up in the 6th. So he has a chance to be 5 for 5 right here, right now.
One for one career against this right-hander. And the inside edge called by Paul Emmel. To the right side, that's a base hit. Now it's 15-3. Taylor scores, Difo stops, and Trey Turner a career-high 5-hit day. Talking about a number 8 hitter and a leadoff guy whose batting averages will take quantum leaps this afternoon.
Unbelievable day for Trey Turner. On base 6 times, 5 hits. He's scored 3 times. The only thing he hasn't done is stolen a base, but they really never had a chance after the 6-run second inning. So he started the day at 262 and now 275.
There's Brian Goodwin, 0 for 3, but 2 walks.
So Brian trying to join the hit parade here.
Nats record for most hits in a 9-inning game. Trey just did it for the 6th time. 5 players have done it on a number of occasions. The last was Yunel Escobar back in 15.
I think you should run off a copy of your scorebook and give it to him.
There's a chance.
5 hits in a major league game.
Murphy's getting a copy of last night's.
Have you ever had anybody say, I'm good?
A couple of them could have ended up in file 13.
Hey,
without me knowing about it.
Here's your no-hitter. Man, I'm good. Thanks, Bob. Here's your 5-hit game, Trey.
Well, that's what I always tell them. Hey, this is either for you or for your families.
Oh.
I guilt them into giving it to mom and dad if they're not going to keep it.
Yeah, they don't want it either, Bob. Thanks.
Two. That ball is hit hard to right, and it is over the head of Alcantara. Coming around is Wilmer Difo. Into third goes Turner. It's 16-3. And Goodwin checks in with his first hit of the day. Mercy.
Tell you what,
there is no rule at this level.
You get into a big league game as Wilmer Difo did. You saw the enthusiasm on the bench, even though the score is what it is, 16-3. Redskins over the Bengals. You get some high fives when you get to the dugout. And these are games where you get well because there's games when you're going to face somebody that's dealing.
16 runs ties the second highest run total of the year. Nats had 16 in a ball game at Coors Field. And of course that crazy 23 against the Mets on the 30th of April. One and 0 to Ryan Rayburn, who struck out swinging his first time. $19 hits or more for the sixth time this year. And Mr. Shades himself, Jose Lobaton, about to get in this game. That would be if it makes it down to the number 5 spot this inning, and right now there's nobody out. Bases loaded. 5 straight runners, or rather batters, aboard here who have become runners. There's Adam Lind, who's the cleanup guy, and Jose Lobaton steps out on deck.
It's all right. My scorecard has 2 runners on third right now, so that's not good. Most runs the Nats have ever scored in a game. Have they scored 20?
Yeah, against the Mets.
23, yeah.
Remember on Anthony Rendon's amazing afternoon?
Oh, that's right. Who was pitching that day?
A bunch of guys.
Joe Ross?
Oh, I thought you meant for them.
Joe Ross, 23-5.
Nats had a good day against Harvey Holstaff that day.
They brought in Kevin Plawicki, and it got ugly. Yeah. One of their catchers. That was the day Anthony drove in 10, right?
He did. 3 homers, 6 hits, 10 RBIs.
Got 6 hits, right? 6 for 6.
One. Lobaton lifting one high and deep to right. Alcantara, bullpen wall, makes a jumping catch. Turner scores. Good one to third. It's 17-3. Jose Lobaton almost hit a grand slam. Pardon me, Adam Lind. Lobaton coming up.
Pretty good catch by Alcantara against the wall. Turn it around. Sun involved. That close to 20 runs.
Jose Lobaton facing Blake Wood for the first time. Two-one pitch with one out. Jose watches it low. Reds came into the game with a staff ERA of 5.08. They had to give up at least 17 runs in 8 innings. Out of play to the left side.
I mean, they're just relentless. They don't stop. They don't give up at bats. They're whether 4-3 or 17-3. Like sharks feeding.
Three-2. Lobaton to right. Over to grab it, Alcantara. Here comes Goodwin, and it's 18-3. Jose Lobaton with his 3rd RBI of the year, and the first one not produced by a solo home run. Next up, Stephen Drew came into play third base after pinch hitting for Anthony Rendon just last inning. So now we have the 2nd highest run total in a ball game in Nationals history. Strike call. That is some kind of line score. Outside, 1-1. Good looking off speed pitch, straight change from Wood. And now it's 1-2 here in the 8th.
Stephen Drew was out here with his son Hank earlier today, and they were hitting on the field. I'll tell you what, Hank is 7 and he has a sweet swing. He's hitting line drives all over the place.
I bet the whole Drew family has a sweet swing.
He was hitting in a group with Steven Strasburg and Gio Gonzalez. No big deal when you're 7, right?
Wow.
Got a cannon. We already talked about his arm.
Swing and a miss. 18 runs on 19 hits, 3 outs to get for a series win. By the Virginia Lottery. Look for the game of the summer, the Corvette and Cash Scratcher from the Virginia Lottery. Quite a day for Virginia, the University of UVA day here at the ballpark, and the Nats have put a ton of runs on the board. So wahoo wah to that, and we're going to the top of the 9th inning. The Nats about to win a series. Johnny and Ray getting ready out there with our WB Mason postgame show. It's presented by who but WB Mason. Jacob Turner for the Nats, 26-year-old right-hander. 17th appearance. He's made a couple of starts. 19 Ks, 13 walks in 34 innings.
You look at lefties hitting just .211 against Jacob this year.
So Turner to Turner, Jacob to Stewart, and would he perchance hit a ground ball to short? One.
Has that ever been done before?
We don't know. Got to be 3 Smiths who did it sometime in the history of baseball.
Randy Jones, maybe.
Instead, he's going to hit one to a guy named Goodwin. 1 out. Top of the 9th.
Randy Johnson to Nick Johnson, who hit it to Howard Johnson.
Could have happened. Nick probably beat it out. Maybe not.
No, I'm going to say no.
It was good to see Nick out on the West Coast recently. One of the prides of Sacramento.
Yeah.
Former net, Nick Johnson.
Probably got hit by a pitch from Randy Johnson, but I don't know if he beat out a ground ball to Hojo.
Sure he did. He could fly, man. Outside to Arizmendi Alcantara here with 1 out in the 9th inning. That ball ripped. Defoe has it. 2 down. Tanner Roark will get the assignment tomorrow to try to make this a sweep for the Nats. Tanner 6-4, 16th start. Scott Feldman 5-5 with a .420 for the Reds. That's extra 1 o'clock. He's done charting. Now he's just arranging for the closing of the dugout here soon. Billy Hamilton base hits in 2 consecutive at bats, and he's 2 for 4 today. To left, and a very quick top of the 9th. Well done by Jacob Turner. Amazingly done by the Nationals offense today. A lopsided blowout, 18-3. More in a moment.